Good morning, CSLN.
Good morning.
I'm Lucia Cooper-Smith. I'm your host for today, and it is a pleasure to welcome you to Sunday morning at the Center for Spiritual Living, Nashville. I'd also like to welcome those of you who are watching online. Today, our speaker is Reverend Denise Yergin. We look forward to Denise's wisdom and her fabulous insight in her talk that is titled, Pain Pushes, Vision Pulls, and Love Heals. And joining our band today as guest artists, we're always excited when Yvonne Smith joins us, and we welcome back the talented Lori O'Shea. So thank you. So who is CSLN? We are an open and inclusive New Thought spiritual community that is the spiritual home to people of all backgrounds and lifestyles. We believe that whether it is called God, Spirit, or the universe, there are many paths as people explore their own spiritual journey. Wherever you are and wherever you may find yourself on that journey, you are welcome here. Let's move into spirit. And I invite you to close your eyes and take a deep breath. And take another one. Turn within and know with me that there is one God, one heart surrounding us right now, always. The one source that created all things, created me, created everyone here, is still creating. It lives in each of us right now. There is a golden thread of truth that moves through all spiritual paths, and we bless them all. We are open to the lesson today. We breathe in the willingness to experience something fabulous today, something that allows us to feel more connected, something that shows us how to live our most magnificent lives. We are so grateful for that inspiration, for this lesson Reverend D is sharing with us today, the beautiful music we'll hear. So grateful for this day, for being together to experience it as a community. And so it is.
Good morning.
Good morning.
There's a new world coming, and it's just around the bend. There's a new world coming. This one's coming to an end. There's a new voice calling. You can hear it if you try. And it's growing stronger with each day that passes by. There's a brand new morning, rising clear and sweet and free. There's a new day dawning that belongs to you and me. Yes, a new world's coming, the one we've had visions of, coming in peace, coming in joy, coming in love. Yes, a new world's coming, the one we've had visions of.
morning, everyone. So, my reading this morning is going to be on Black History Facts because this month of February is Black History Month, and so we celebrate it. So in honor of Black History Month, we have an opportunity to acknowledge new ideas and inventions that Black people have contributed to this country's history. While extremely important, there are so many things that we know about and use today that perhaps would not exist if not for people of color. One example of this is a well-known company by the name of Hidden Valley was invented in 1940 by a Black man. Henson, he also created the original recipe for ranch dressing in 1805. Another ingenious ingenious snack produced was the potato chip by a Black man named George Crumb. You know we love potato chips. Another, the most talent was invented in 1872 by a Black man named Thomas Atkins. In 1962, Paul Williams invented the first useful helicopter. In 1991, a Black woman named Lisa Kitabler, a computer science major, invented the Pacific animation used in the creation of the GIF, graphics interchange format, which is commonly used on social media and other multimedia platforms. Another Black woman, Dr. Shirley Ann Jackson, used her extensive knowledge of theoretical physics to foster breakthroughs in the telecommunications research. Her research led to interventions such as the portable fax machine, touch-tone telephone, solar calls, fiber cables, caller ID, and call waiting. And last, but certainly not least, in 1867, Madam C.J. Walker was the first self-made female millionaire. By the turn of the century, she was manufacturing and distributing a line of hair care products. After making her fortune, she continued giving back. Madam C.J. Walker educated Black women across America on the uses of marketing, political and social activities. She is a well-known figure in the Black history who holds the record in the World Book of Guinness. So I have one more that I did not put on here, but we created the modern toilet, believe that. So, so anyway, I'm happy to share that with you because some of this I was not aware of either. So I hope you enjoyed that. So if you would just take a deep breath, hold it, let it go. Breathe again, hold it. Okay, and exhale. There's only one life, one God, one power, one presence throughout the universe. And I am in this universe and am some part of it. Therefore, all that it is, I am, and all that it does is done through me. My new awareness adds to me, expands me, deepens me, enriches my consciousness. And every kind of goodness, it clears my mind of all false and judgmental ideas. It clears my heart of all kinds of fearful emotions. It causes a greater understanding to rise up in me, as well as a belief in myself, my God, my life, my world, and all of its people. I realize that there is no power in the past or in the things of the past, including my own past experiences, because all of the life there is feels the presence and is the only stuff of which the future will be made. I praise, I rejoice in it, and I am grateful for my ability to hear these words, to understand these words, and I declare by action of this treatment that I am profoundly enriched and changed for the better, and that as I go on from here, I go on with its creative goodness of God at work in me in new and better ways. I know and accept God as it must be lived, and I live in it. I am grateful for our new pastor who is being drawn to us by love, and I am thankful for our new center and everyone that's here in our presence and hearing this message today. And so together we say, and so it is.
We'd like to dedicate this next song to Candy Paul.
Where there is hatred, let me bring love. Where there is doubt, let me bring faith. Where there is falsehood, let me bring truth. Where there is pain, I'll comfort
Yvonne Smith, Laurie O'Shea.
Make me an instrument of peace. Can you say that out loud with me? Make me an instrument of peace. One more time. Make me an instrument of peace. You know, the first time I ever heard that song, and you know that's my favorite version of that. Thank you. That was a blessing. I thought, isn't it interesting that the word is make me? Do you hear that? Because so many times we don't want to, you know? We don't want to be peace. We want to talk. I have to say, Mitch, I am so honored that you're sitting there this morning. Thank you. I feel like my big game needs to be here this morning, so thank you. Sometimes I don't want to be peace. Do you ever think you want to be heard? Want somebody to hear what I have to say? And they need to hear it right now, whether they want to or not. Because I'm sitting in this pain and I need somebody to listen. You ever been sitting in pain and need somebody to listen? Yeah. And that's how I came up with this lesson topic today, because I'm so glad you read the things that you read to us this morning. If you've even read any of the magazine this month, it's all been about Black History Month. And it's been amazing things for me to read and go, wow, I didn't know that. That's cool. Wow, I didn't know that. That's cool, because the Black people lived in pain and held a vision for something greater and created something greater. What might we be able to learn from the example that they've set out there for us? That we can be in pain, we can be pushed by whatever that pain is, and we can hold a vision for something greater, and we can allow love to heal it all. Because don't we believe that love heals it all? And so today's lesson is all about that. It's all about that, yes, there's probably some pain sitting out here today. We're moving. Have you noticed that? Have you noticed some things have shifted and you walk in and you go, where did that go? It's in a box. It's being stored right now. Has anybody like me walked in and went, wow. Even though I saw on Facebook all that pictures of moving the stained glass, it's like, what's it going to feel like to walk in here and it not be there? Different, right? And I've had some conversations with people this morning about memories of things that have gone on in this place, this sacred place that you created for years and years and added your presence and your prayers. And now what? So there might be a little pain. And there is also a vision of something greater coming, but we're still forming that, right? Have you ever known you were going to move, but you weren't really sure exactly what that's going to be like, and you have been told by a few people, oh, it's going to be wonderful, and you're like, okay, yeah. Going to be wonderful? I'm glad you think so, because I'm not sure. I want you to know this morning it's okay to be in wherever you are. It's all okay. Tell somebody sitting next to you it's all okay. Did they believe you? Did they believe you? Yeah. Somebody said yes, somebody did believe. So today I'm going to share a story of mine and then move back and forth into your story as I'm sharing it. I learned this from reading stories about Jesus, the master teacher, because he taught in parables. And sometimes the best way for me to get something is to hear a story and I go, oh, huh. So I'm going to tell you about a little girl that grew up in Woodbine named Denise. That was me. And I grew up in a time when children could just run and be free. Anybody else remember that? Riding bicycles in the street, going and doing all kinds of fun things. You know, staying out at night until my mommy and all other mommies went out on the back porch and started hollering for us to come in. Anybody remember that? And it was like I would be like, I better get in there because my mama will not be pretty if I don't get there soon. That was a freedom time for kids. And I had so much fun. There was a little tribe that I kind of ran with every day and did things with and rode bicycles with. And we all loved each other and we played and we'd have lemonade stands. And we'd get a bunch of candy and set up a little place and sell candy and who knows what else on the street. And we just thought we were something. Until one day, one of the little boys that was a part of our group, and his name was Billy, he started acting kind of mean. That's all I can say. And sometimes he would run his bicycles into us. And sometimes he would say ugly things to us and he would hit us. And we didn't know what was going on because that had not really ever happened before. And one particular day, when I was 10 years old, I will never forget, he rode his bicycle into mine and I was thrown off my bicycle and landed right on a mailbox and cut my lip, and it knocked me out. Thank heavens, because we were all just out there playing, there was a man in the neighborhood that was washing his car, and he supposedly, I don't remember any of this because I wasn't there, present in my body at that moment, he picked me up and he carried me to my mother and daddy, who were packing the car for us to go to Florida. And they rushed me to the hospital because there was blood everywhere. You know, if you cut something right in here, there's a lot of blood that happens very quickly. And they were scared, and they took me to the hospital. And to make a very long story short, we didn't go to Florida that year. We stayed home. I had some stitches in my lip, and I still have a little scar there from that. And all of a sudden in this whole process, I decided that Billy was the enemy. He was the enemy because it hurt. And I was hurt for a long period of time, and I even talked to all my friends and said, we're not going to play with Billy anymore. Not going to. Ever. Do you hear me? We're not ever going to let him ride bicycles with us. We're never ever going to talk to him. We're not going to. And guess what? They listened to me. For some reason, who knows? Why didn't they just look at me and say, no, Denise, we're not doing that? But that's what they did. They listened to me, and we had nothing to do with Billy. Until about a year from that, my mother came in my room one day and she said, Denise, Billy's mother died. Well, I remember her saying that, and I hadn't known of anybody else's mother died that was my age, so that seemed weird. Weird. It's like, what am I supposed to do with that piece of information? And then the kicker came. We're going to the funeral home tonight. Oh, you all are going and not me, right? No, you're going. And you're going to have to see Billy. Oh. Billy's the enemy. Remember? I understand his mother died, but I don't talk to Billy. I don't play with Billy. I don't do anything with Billy. And I even remember walking into the funeral home and grabbing onto my daddy's hand and like, oh, Lord mercy, what am I going to do? And he walked me up towards the casket, and there was Billy and his daddy and his grandmother, and Billy smiled at me, and my first thought was, how dare you smile at me? And then I remembered, but your mother died. What am I supposed to be? And I did talk to him for a little bit, but I couldn't find any words. I was 12 years old. I didn't know how to find the words. And so then I go home. And the next day is Sunday. And we always went to church, and then we went to my grandmother's house for lunch. And my grandmother said, Denise, what if you create a different story in your mind about Billy? Create a different story in my mind about Billy? What would that be? So I'm going to leave you with that right there. I'll finish the story in just a moment. But think about what's going on here in this beautiful place. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of emotions this morning. Walking in and seeing the stained glass gone. Walking through, have you seen any of the big boxes packed up in different places? Or the starburst is gone. Or that picture that was on the wall is gone. Or things are changing. And then our beloved Candy is no longer in the physical body. There's pain. And it's pushing us at times. And I believe that's the deal with pain. It's there to push us to know that there's something greater than that pain. But we had to process it, right? But it's pushing. It's pushing. And so what is this new story that we're hearing about moving to the Unity campus? What was that? What would that look like? I don't know. And unfortunately, even those of us who've been talking and doing and working, we don't know all the answers, right, Lucia? We don't have all the answers, right, Etta? We don't have all the answers. We don't have all the answers. And I want answers. Don't we want answers when we're feeling a little pain, a little bit uneasiness? You know, this month's whole magazine was called Divine Discomfort. Remember that? Is anybody there yet? In that discomfortable place and knowing that there's some divinity there, but where in this world is it right now, in this moment? Is it in the conversation I had with that person? Well, that didn't feel divine. Is it in that text or that email that I read or saw or something, and that didn't feel divine? Where do I find it? How do I sit in this discomfort and hold a vision that is not fully formed yet and know that something greater than me is at work? Because any of you that have had conversations with me over the last week or two, that's what I always remind everybody of. Something greater than us is pulling us towards something, and we're not even sure what that something is going to look like in the end. How do you deal with that? Trust. Trust. And when I say that, people go, what I trust? I had someone on the phone yesterday in a session, and she was like, I don't know who to trust. And I said, well, you first have to learn how to trust yourself, to even know what you're feeling right now. Somebody just sucked all the air out of the room. I felt it. Yes, we have to trust that there's a higher power or God or whatever you want to call it, or the presence of love is guiding all of us. But sometimes in the pain or the discomfort that I'm feeling, I'm not even sure how to trust myself to make the right next step. right? It's like, how do I know? How do I know? Trusting me, and trusting a power greater than me, and trusting other people that I know I can trust. So let me take you back to my story with my grandmother. Some of you over the last 3 years have learned a lot about me and my family and issues, and you know, all families have stuff, don't they? Yay. And those of you that are still wondering, yes, my mother still won't talk to me, and you know, that's just where we are right now. But I'm still making sure that she's being taken care of 24 hours a day. And that's the deal. I have to trust that right and perfect and highest and best is happening. And if it can't happen through me, it can happen through my 2 sons and the people we've hired to take care of that. That's a weird trust walk for me right now. But go back to my grandmother, who said to me, Denise, create a new story about you and Billy. All righty. Well, know that I didn't for a while, because the other piece of the information about me and moving and changing is not long after that. One night my daddy said, we're going to have some people come in our home, and they're going to be talking to your mother and I, and you need to be really quiet. I had a hard time being really quiet sometimes. So, you know, that was like, either go outside and play with your friends or stay in your room, but don't come into the middle of this meeting. Okay. All I do know is there were 4 men that walked in, and they had on black suits. And supposedly later I found out 2 of them were from the state of Tennessee and 2 of them were from Nashville. And they were telling my parents that the home that they had always lived in was now going to be I-440 eventually. So remember, I had a street. All these streets we played, the kids run and play and rode bicycles and climbed trees. And that was all of my memories of growing up. And all of a sudden, 4 strange men that I'd never seen before told us, you're not going to be able to live here in about another 6 months. Create a new vision about me and Billy? I need to create a new vision about lots of things at that point in time. Because my parents weren't sure where we were going to move. We just knew we were going to move. I knew that I wouldn't be going to the school probably that I had always gone to, and I didn't know where that was going to be, but I knew it was going to be something different. And my beloved maternal grandmother was the only thing that I knew I could hold on to. And she kept telling me, Denise, you are a strong person. And if you remember, she used the word God a lot, that God is in all of this. You're going to be okay. Trust God and trust yourself to make the right decisions. But remember that this thing with Billy, you need to create a new story. You know, there's something in my mind that kept holding on to that, but I didn't follow her advice. I didn't create a new story for years and years and years and years and years and years and years. And I still had that old story of this little boy who was mean, who hurt me. And then all of a sudden, everything I had ever known changed, and I moved, and I didn't know any of those people, and my parents put me in a private school, and all of that was very different. There weren't kids in the neighborhood to play with. There weren't trees to swing from. There weren't selling lemonade on the stands. There was just me. And so who and what do I trust? Well, know that some of you actually, again, have heard some of the stories of my past and the things that I had held on to, even when I first started speaking here, and some of your wonderful practitioners have helped me let some of that go. And I've reestablished friends with people that I hadn't seen in 50 plus years. I've healed a lot of my past with the Church of Christ and with Lipscomb and all of that, and know that as it's like a magic. But no, it's not magic, it's holding a vision. 3 weeks ago, I got a message on Messenger from Facebook, and guess who it was from? Billy. We're 57 years old, 67 years old. I don't even know how old I am. I'm 67 years old. And I haven't talked to him since I was 12. And when I got that message, I was like, who is that? Should I answer? Do you ever get messages on Messenger and you go, I'm not answering that because I don't even know who that is? But then all of a sudden, something in the recesses of my mind said, your grandma said, create a new story about Billy. Huh. Create a new story about Billy? And so the message just said, this is Billy. I don't know if you remember me, but do you remember living on Imperial Drive and riding bicycles? Of course, he didn't add, and I knocked you off your bicycle, and you had to have surgery and stitches, and there was blood, and blah, blah, blah. He didn't tell all that. And I said, yes, I do remember, and I would love to have a conversation with you someday. He doesn't even live in Nashville anymore, but he said, I come occasionally to see my mom. And hopefully at some point in time, the two of us can be in Nashville together and break bread. Do you hear that? Pain pushes us to do bizarre, crazy things. Vision holds for us to know that there's something greater, something better, even if we're not sure what it is. And love heals. Love heals. Love always heals everything and everybody. And so I just want you to close your eyes for a moment. And I want you to start with just the reset breath that I have taught you here. Just exhale and blow out anything that might be sitting in you that you're ready to let go of. And place your hand on your heart. And do one more exhale. Just let it all go. And in this now moment, we allow the energy of life to breathe through us. And we allow this breath to flow through every cell, every organ, every system. And we allow the breath of peace to flow through us now, knowing we're safe, knowing we're secure, knowing that we are love and that we are loved and that we are loving. And I want you to hear these beautiful words. Just keep your eyes closed. These are from Candy. I am an artist of the Spirit. All else flows from this. I am a fully alive person, trusting the flow of energy and aliveness. The spirit within arises in strength. My joy is my power and my song of love. I praise Creator that everything is working together for the highest good. And we say together, and so it is. Namaste.
Oh, thank you. Well, now it is time to give back to what serves us. So if you consider this your spiritual home, or if something today has touched you. There are many ways you can share the love with us, and we are so very grateful for your donation to our center. So I'd like to ask our ushers to come forward. And we also have 4 other ways that we can accept your gift. You can use a credit card in our bookstore or at the terminal in the lobby behind us. You can find a document with a QR code in the book pocket in front of your seat. And for our online viewers, you can make a contribution using the link in the description below. Or you can mail your donation to our street address. And please say with me, divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. Thank you for your loving gifts.
I want to thank Lori and Sean for driving out from Cookville this morning to be here. He's got a gas donation over here if you want to. And I think you know all this, you know this song, just sing along. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
There's a reason for the sunshine sky. There's a reason why I'm feeling so high. Must be the season when that love light shines all around us. So let that feeling grab you deep inside and send you reeling where your love can't hide, and then go stealing through the midnight nights with your lover. Just let your love flow like a mountain stream, and let your love grow with the smallest of dreams, and let your love show, and you'll know what I mean. It's the season. Let your love fly like a bird on a wing, and let your love bind you to all living things, and let your love shine, and you know what I mean. That's the reason. There's a reason for the warm sweet nights, and there's a reason for the candle lights. Must be the season when those love lights shine all around us. So let that wonder take you into space, and where you wonder, it's loving embrace. Just feel the thunder as it warms your face. You can't hold back. Just let your love flow like a mountain stream, and let your love grow with the smallest of dreams, and let your love show, and you know what I mean. It's the season. Let your love fly like a bird on a wing, and let your love bind you to all living things, and let your love shine, and you'll know what I mean. That's the reason.
Come on, everybody, let's go. Sing. Come on, sing this song.
Just let your love flow like a mountain stream, and let your love grow with the smallest of dreams, and let your love show, and you know what I mean. It's the season. Let your love fly like a bird on a wing, and let your love bind you to all living things, and let your love shine, and you'll know what I mean. That's the reason.
Thank you, Lori. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, this amazing band.
Well, thank you, first of all, to Reverend Denise Yergin for the perfect message for today, for where we are at. So first of all, thank you. And thank you to the band and our guest artists, Yvonne Smith and Lori O'Shea, and to everyone who made this service so wonderful today. We have just a few announcements before we close our service. First and foremost, please join us in celebrating Candy Paul's life on Saturday, March 2nd at 2 p.m. So we are going to take this time to celebrate her heart and her beautiful presence in our community. And because music was one of the things that Candy loved so much, if you have a song that was meaningful between you and Candy, there are very limited spots in the service available, but please contact Larry either by email or by phone and let him know. So this will be a beautiful tribute to a cherished friend. So, regarding the other announcements, we have 4 announcements about our move. First, there is an important meeting today after the service in the upstairs classroom with Reverend Denise Yergin. So if you missed it a couple of weeks ago, we announced that Denise has agreed to accept a position with us as our transition director. So she's going to make sure that we all know what we're doing and where we're going on March 17th for those of us who are involved in that service. Somebody needs to corral us and get us on board with where we're going and what we're doing. And she's the person. So this includes the musicians, the AV team, the greeters, the hospitality people, the hosts, the practitioners, the board. And we're looking for volunteers to be parking lot attendants so that everyone will know where to park and where they're going on that day. So if you're thinking of volunteering, please attend the meeting. And if you can't make it to the meeting, let Raquel know that you would like to volunteer for that wonderful position. So everyone involved is vital and necessary for our first day to be a success. Second, an email was sent last week detailing our move schedule, and we said in it that things would change, and surprise, surprise, they have. So we're being very fluid. The most important date that remains the same is that our first Sunday at Unity remains March 17th. But to give us a little more time to finalize our lease with Unity and to give us a little more time to pack up our things, the date our movers will move our furniture to is now March 4th. So we have a little bit more time. And third, we wanted to clarify something in our newsletter this week. The newsletter said that our March 17th service would be at the newly established New Thought Community Campus. The intention of that statement, and it is a beautiful vision statement, the intention of that statement is that we are excited to co-locate with Unity. And by renting from Unity, our 2 centers are doing something very unique and exciting because there will be 2 New Thought communities with similar but very different teachings sharing space on Unity's campus. So as we've discussed at our town hall meetings, we're going to be leasing space there, and after we settle in, both communities are going to evaluate if we all want to explore long-term what the possibilities would look like. So I just want to make sure that we are very intentional with how we're communicating that. And the 4th announcement about our move is that next Sunday, March 3rd, is our potluck. So please plan to attend and bring something yummy to share. And then March 10th is our last service here. So we will have cake and coffee, and we're sure there will be some tears. It seems appropriate that Reverend Mitch is going to be our speaker both of those Sundays. So those will be our last 2 Sundays here. And we are going to be posting something, so start giving some thought to these things. We're going to be posting some paper along the hallway outside of the fellowship hall for everyone to share 3 thoughts. 1, what are you grateful for about this building? 2, what would you like to release from attachment to this building? And 3, what would you like to bring with us to our new location? So think about what you would put down on paper so we can all write a message on the wall. To go on to other announcements in other areas, we are looking for volunteers for a child and family program team to help us plan a vibrant youth program. Please let Raquel know by emailing her if you're interested in volunteering or helping to plan how to reactivate our youth program. So we are in the planning phase with that. And one of the wonderful things about CSLN is how strong our community is. And when one of us needs community, we're there for them. So in addition to keeping our dear community member Gary Huffman in your thoughts and prayers, we're asking for volunteers who can help Gary with some activities like grocery shopping, picking up medications, cooking a meal or two for him. We have a sign-up sheet on the table in the back lobby for those who can help Gary out during his recovery. And if you know of any other community members facing health issues, please let us know so we can lift them up also. And don't forget to connect with others. In this time of change, if you need to connect with others, we have the men's group meets on Wednesdays and the women's circle meets on Thursdays at noon. And if you want details about any of this, who to contact, how to get a hold of Raquel, all that other stuff that I've been saying, check our newsletter, check the website, and you can check the back community bulletin board in the hallway. So before we close our service, I'd like to welcome anyone who is visiting for the first time. Please don't leave without giving us a chance to meet you. Join us in the fellowship hall where we all gather every week for refreshments. And if you're watching online, please subscribe, give us a thumbs up because it really does mean something to us. And finally, I'd like to ask our practitioners and our speaker, Reverend Denise, to come up front. If there is something on your heart, something you are dealing with, or you'd like to attract something more of into your life, all of these professional practitioners are here to give you a prayer treatment as soon as the service is over. Or you can fill out a prayer request form and put it in the secure box on the table in the hallway. And if you're watching online, go to our website and under practitioners, you can contact any one of us directly. So please join me for our closing treatment. I will say it in the first person and invite you to make it personal to you. So know with me that there is one heart, one mind. It is the infinite intelligence that created every one of us. And whether I call it God, Spirit, the universe, the higher power, it is the one source of all. It is the source from which I was created. I am just one of those marvelous, individualized expressions of it. I express its qualities. Everything I want to manifest in my life has already been created in the mind of God. I am prosperous in every area of my life, my health, the love in my life, a career I love, and financial abundance. Any conflicts or challenges I have are resolved, and there is peace. Even more than I can imagine already exists in the infinite possibilities, and I am open to receive. And for our center in this time of change, I step into the unknown with unwavering faith that all is operating in divine right order. Any outcomes that appear undefined are in perfect flow with the One. The universe responds to my thoughts and to my words, and I know that the highest and best have already manifested. The perfect new home and the perfect senior minister have already been attracted to us, and I know that this process flows with great ease and success. With the deepest gratitude, I simply say thank you, for I know it is already so. I release my word, knowing that the law that responds to my thoughts and my words is always working. I let go and release, knowing this or something better is already done. And together we say, and so it is. So let's put a little love in our hearts and stand for our closing song.